Hey everybody, welcome to my first video here on YouTube. The first video I made, I got home and played it back and realized that there was no audio. So it was just a video of my mouth moving, but you couldn't hear anything. Anyway, so this is my YouTube channel, and I'm going to be mainly, of course, focused on real estate, focusing on my journey going through the real estate process, and taking y'all along for the ride. So hopefully I can teach y'all things as I learn, and you can learn from my mistakes, because that's really the purpose of having this channel, is to help other people through the real estate process, by sharing my mistakes and also sharing my achievements as I go through. And sometimes on the channel too, I'm going to be sharing, personal things and maybe motivational things, and just trying to help encourage people as they watch my channel. So this is my first video, and I can tell you that a little background about me is I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, that's where I am right now. And I lived here until I was 29. At the age of 29, my life was it was a wreck. I was working 3 jobs, just making ends meet, going out to the bars, drinking, just not doing well at all. And I knew I needed a change. So I got an opportunity to go work in the Grand Canyon National Park. And I just thought that was really cool. I'd never really traveled anywhere in my whole life. Just Texas, Florida when I was a kid, and just not really seen the world. So I took the job and moved to the Grand Canyon, and I was working there in like hotel and restaurant, and worked there for a summer, met a girl. Long story short, the girl was French, but she was enrolled in university in China. So I wound up living in Guangzhou, China, which is the 3rd largest city in the world. I'm not really going to talk about that in this video, because my experiences during my 12 years in China, I mean, that's an entirely different YouTube channel. I'd love to share that with everyone. It was amazing. It was amazing, the time that I spent there. But anyway, back to my real estate channel. So I moved back to Houston, Texas in 2017. By then I was married and I had a young son. So I grew up as an only child, and it was just me and my mother. My father, he left the picture when I was less than a year old. So my mom, when my son was born, she really, really wanted to be with her grandson. And so 12 years in China, I was ready to come home. And so we ended up moving back to Houston, Texas. And unfortunately, 8 months after we moved back, my mom had a sudden heart attack and died. She passed away, which turned my life upside down. It left a huge hole, a huge void that'll always be there. But for those of you that have lost parents or lost people that you love, you learn to live with that void, and you go on and you're thankful for what you do have and the people that you still have in your life. So she passed away, and so 2017 and 2018 was a wreck. We moved back to Houston about 2 weeks. My family got settled in about 2 weeks before Hurricane Harvey hit. So we moved in. That was my wife's welcome to America. She moves to Houston, and the entire city is just wiped out. Everything's flooded. We lived in an apartment. We were okay. We were on the 3rd floor. We did lose a car one night. We had like some flash flooding. It was really crazy. All the drains in the parking lot were not draining water. Water was actually rising up out of the drains. So we had a car get flooded, but I mean, that's life. A lot of people lost everything. So again, moved back into Hurricane Harvey, went through the flood. Mom died about 8 months later. And so it really left me just thinking like, well, what am I going to do? And I had always been interested in real estate. Growing up, my grandfather had some rental houses. So even as a kid, I was, helping paint the houses and get the houses turned around whenever a tenant would leave and another one was coming in. So I had already been around that world as a kid, and it was something that I was always interested in. So what I did is I decided to go back to school and get my real estate license. But I did not just get my license. I did a full 2-year associate's degree in one of the colleges here in Houston. So I actually have a degree in real estate. And so the associate degree, of course, goes beyond just the licensing aspect, and we studied deeper into real estate math and brokerage. We studied real estate finance, working with investors, just going a lot deeper into the world of real estate and everything that it encompasses and that it involves. So graduated with honors, and hey, in high school I was not an honor student, not at all. In fact, I dropped out of high school my senior year because I was a dumb teenager and you couldn't tell me what to do, and yeah, long story there too. So going back to school, graduated with honors, straight A's, 4.0 all the way through, came out, feeling like I was on top of the world, and quickly realized even with all of that education, all of that schooling, I didn't know jack about real estate. Because to be honest, real estate, you can go to school, you can learn what you need to learn in the books, you can learn the laws, you can learn the rules, you can learn contracts and all that. But real estate is the type of job that you're really not going to understand and really conceptualize everything that goes into the process until you actually do it. So even recently, just a couple weeks ago, I was able to get my first client, my first buyer, and I got my butt kicked. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to schedule showings. I didn't know how to organize my client, how to lead my client through the process, because I'd never done it. And so things spiraled out of control very quickly to where I really lost control, and she was just really like snapping her fingers on me, and I want this, and I want to see this house, and blah, blah, blah. Which is, you do need to show houses to your client, but at the same time, you need to be leading your client through the process and explaining to them what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, what processes you're going to go through, how long those processes are going to take. And, if you're not able to communicate that to your client, it crumbles. So after about 10 days of me staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning, writing my first, buyer's offer and just making mistake on top of mistake, she fired me. I don't really deserve, I don't feel that I deserve necessarily to be just fired with no discussion, no reasoning behind it. I did make some rookie mistakes, but I think it's something that we could discuss. But hey, at the end of the day, she has that right. That's part of the contract. If she feels that she's not happy, she does have the right to, to terminate the contract. I could have, caused some problems, but it just wasn't worth it. I learned a lot. I felt bad. I wanted her to leave that experience with a positive feeling, as much of a positive feeling as I could, as I could give her. So I just said, okay, I'll let you out of the contract. I'm sorry. And I asked her, what was it, that wasn't up to your standards? And she ghosted me basically after that. I never heard another response from her. And again, that's fine. That's life. So I'm gonna take y'all through that process in some other videos. The mistakes that I made coming into that first buyer's agreement, and what I learned going through the process and making those mistakes, and hopefully preventing, you know, someone out there that's watching this video from making those same mistakes. So, you know, the only thing I can tell you is getting into real estate, you're going to get knocked down. You're going to get your butt kicked. I did. I mean, I was in tears after she fired me. I felt terrible. But you get back up again. You get up, you dust yourself off, and learn from your mistakes and move forward. I'm fortunate that my time in China, I was a teacher, so I was able to reflect upon that and say, okay, let me look at this from a teaching perspective. What are the mistakes I made? What can I learn from that? And what can I teach others, which is what I plan to do. But again, to all of y'all that are just getting started, I know you're scared. I was terrified going into this first deal. I had no confidence because I'd not done it. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that feel the same way. Don't worry. There's lots of videos on YouTube. There's lots of information out there, and there are people that are willing to help you. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Make sure that you get in either with a good brokerage or a good team that has that structure that can help you through those tough times, because there will be tough times, but there's also going to be amazing times, and I hope I can share those amazing times with you. So, you know, that's about it for now for this first video. This first video is really unedited, unscripted. It's raw. It's my first video. I'm just getting started. So you guys know what to do. If you like, click the like button. Do all the other YouTube stuff you need to do, and I'll put some links below in the video, you know, that I think of, that some information that could be helpful. So thanks for watching, and my first video. So talk to y'all later. Bye.